Man, it's just not a set release unless we get some poll data to show you guys what in the world is going on. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And before the, oh my god, this data is, bad for the community, I love those comments. No, these are here to educate people on a set amount that a store has gone through or a person has gone through to go, hey, this is data and how cards work. Okay, so what in the world do we have in our ultra rare slots up here? So the Memento Combined Creation pulled 155 of those. Now, before somebody's like, well, what's the case ratio here? It's 40 cases. So that's going to give you a very nice spread on the top end of things. So 155 of the Combined Creation, 155 of the Anguish, and 155 of the Bone Party. Those are your ultra rares for Memento, and we pulled 155 each. That's a very even spread. That's what I like to see, all right? Like, that's good. Now, your Centurion cards. Primera, 155. Trudea, 155. Emeth, all right, 155. So we're lining up with the top-end ratios here. But then we get down here to Legatia, which was 135. Now, hold up here for a second. So we pulled 20 less Legatia than everything else so far. So that means that Legatia is a little bit shorted. Not a crazy lot, but then you get down here to the Emblem Oath, and they pulled 125 emblems. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not really that good to know that Emblem got 30 less copies than everything else that was kind of on the top end, which means you're only going to be able to make 40 deck cores, or have 40 people be able to come through and get play sets of that. All right, they did destroy a couple of deck core percentiles for that. So Emblem is the shortest printed ultra next to Legatia. Now, you are going to notice that both the Valmonica cards each had 145 each pulled. Now, that's 10 less than the highest end that we did see out of this set, and that's fine. I can't really call that. That's just a small variation of things, and we could consider that up to clumping for maybe that difference, but it still is a shorter ratio than what was previously available. So kind of keep that in mind out here, that you are seeing a little bit of a dip in the Valmonica stuff, but Emblem and Legatia being the two biggest declines. I mean, Primera and Trudea and Emeth all being largely more available for the main deck monsters, that's fine. I don't really care too much about Legatia, because Legatia is typically like, a 2 of at that point, so that's adjustable for ratio. So that's your ultras. Now, collector rare data it's going to be interesting to see, because reported cases were anywhere from 2 to 5 collector's rares, with the exception of 1 to 2 cases ending up being 1 collector's rare. And I know that's such a huge swing in terms of numbers that you're just like, wow, like what makes such a big swing for that? I don't know. That's just how it was for this. So out of 40 cases, we had 13 copies of the Combined Creation, which is kind of a stinky because it does have the quarter century. I really, really am not a huge fan of them printing cards in the same rarity. Having it as a collector's rare and a quarter century just kind of feels like it takes away from the impact of the quarter century. Like, I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but that's what I'm kind of getting out of this. Now, they only had 8 copies of the Dark Blade pulled, which is kind of interesting, but okay, sure. Anguish, we had 10 pulled, and then the field spell for Memento ended up being 14 pulled. Actually, that's one of the higher cards that we actually had pulled, was the Memento field spell. And that to me is kind of hilarious in and in itself. Now, the Centurion Primera, 14. Okay. Trudea, 10. Emeth, 10. Legatia, 7. Stand-up Centurion, 10. Now, let's call it what it is at this point in time here, but you're telling me that's 5 collector's rares for you to have to pick up to fully bling out your deck. That's kind of crazy to me. All right, anybody else having Vanquish Soul flashbacks here to seeing that data? Because that is so weird. And Legatia was actually kind of one of the lower ones to be pulled out of this. Now, we had Angelo Valmonica, which was actually the lowest pulled collector's rare out of the set at 6. All right, like, that's kind of crazy. And then we had Demano Valmonica at 11 pulled. And then we had the Valmonica, the voice, pulled at 10. And the Valmonica Skeleta coming in at 9. Keep in mind that's 13 collector's rares out of the populace of everything that's in the set. Konami really wanted to push the fact here that they were like, hey, you know, who needs to do reprints? You know, you're here for the brand new cards. No, people typically look at these sets as a way to get older cards possibly upgraded. And this is where my complaint from yesterday comes in, where you have Honest down here at 8 pulled, and we have 9 Dark Honest. You had, I'm gonna say the Dark Lords would have made a fantastic example over Dark Honest. You also had the Abominable Unchained Soul that the big guy that you put in here. You had Foolish Burial that would have made a fantastic collector's rare. People understand that because Archlord Christia was in here that, you know, Honest was, I guess, like they have to go hand in hand. But because you also pulled Honest, you decided that Dark Honest was the other play to go with. You're like, oh, you know, I can't think of a single soul in the entire community that I've talked to that wanted Dark Honest as a collector's rare. All right, it's just a punt and a half out the window, and you could have done so much better. All right, now, with that all being said, quarter centuries. So quarter centuries, from what they had for pull rates, they were 0 to 2 per case. Now, keep in mind, yes, that is 13 plus 13 is 26. Plus 11 puts you at 37. So they had 37 out of 40 cases pulled. And it was a pretty even spread, honestly, except for Legatia ended up having 11 pulled versus Archlord Christia's 13 and the 13 combined creation. Now, I understand that the combined creation is really cool. It is... If Memento actually had more going for it, I think a lot more people would be a lot more excited for it. The Archlord Christia, I have a feeling, is going to be a future good card, not a now good card. A lot of people are looking at the $100 price tag on it, and they're like, no, I'm not going to pay that. Understandable. Have a nice day. Overall for this set, this is the Vanquish Soul set all over again. 150%. People going to look at this set, they're going to go, okay, yeah, Vanquish Soul or bust, understandable. The collector's rares are... That's all I got to say. I think the best part of this set, next to Primera, Trudea, and the whole big Synchro deck, is the fact that Archlord Christia got a quarter century. I don't think anybody's upset about... Honestly, Archlord Christia representing Valmonica instead of any of the Valmonica cards representing Valmonica was an absolutely good decision on the creative team. The downside here, however, is... Holy crap, you punted the ball on these collector's rares. The collector's rares are the thing that make people want to pick up the set for the chance to pull the higher rarity other card. Alright, like, I've been holding this back, but like, holy crap! A monkey with a typewriter can do better than Konami is right now. Like, it's crazy to me. You have one good thing in the set, which was the Archlord Christia. I'm actually surprised they didn't give Archlord Christia a collector's rare. You gave double Legatia. You could have given double Archlord Christia, but I'm glad that you didn't. You at least saved the set at least a little bit of value. But man, please hire the monkey with a typewriter, all right? And please figure out whoever's designing this latest product, and please have the monkey help them. All right, they're going to need it. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.